Samsung's efforts to get updated in super quick fashion are to be lauded as of late, as the One UI 3.0 update has been issued far quicker than at any other time in the company's history. We've been diving into the One UI 3.0 and 3.1 upgrades though to determine just what are the top new features and what they might actually be. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. Unfortunately, it is worth noting that there are a few things that are only available as part of the One UI 3.1 update rather than the standard 3.0 update. Basically, in a bid to give Galaxy S21 devices some extras that older devices don't have, there is this 3.1 build. Some of these features are likely to come to older models, but there are no guarantees given some hardware or extra hardware is required. With that in mind, we'll try our best to outline which of our top chosen features are from One UI 3.0 and 3.1 respectively. The rollout of One UI 3.1 is not quite as widespread just yet, but we're already seeing some devices get updated, so hopefully it won't be too long before previous devices fall in line, but we've spoken too much so far, so let's dive in. Samsung has updated the long press home screen icons and access to the quick actions or widgets within the latest One UI 3.1 build. We all know the feature was first introduced back in Android Nougat, but Samsung has decided that some tweaks need to be made, and One UI 3.0 and 3.1 do include a few little tweaks. For starters, the pop-up is ever so slightly larger with a better overall layout that includes easier to reach options such as adding your home screen, uninstalling and selecting to move. The menu options can be reversed in some cases based upon previous versions, which might have you fumbling around until you do learn this new layout. That said, the visual aspect of the new pop-up is far superior with better option separation, making it slightly easier to pick the one you want. If you have one of the best displays on the market, why wouldn't you have a solid number of options for the always on display? Well, Samsung has made some tweaks to the always on display with the One UI 3.0 and 3.1 upgrades that make it among the top new features added with this update. All of the AOD customization options and widgets that you've come to know and love have been updated with a slightly different UI picker. There is also a brand new digital wellbeing widget for a start, with under the hood improvements also supposedly boosting battery performance. If you are trying to improve your smartphone usage or at least curb it, we think the digital wellbeing widget might be a really neat option for quick access without having to unlock your device. Samsung has tweaked the incoming call UI settings for people that still actually happen to receive calls on the smartphone. Being able to adjust or tweak the call UI might not be a top One UI 3.0 or 3.1 feature if you don't take or place calls, but it is a nice option to have the ability to adjust this fairly brief splash screen. You can adjust the background and even make minor changes as to how a contact looks when you're receiving a call. It's not something that many OEMs out there even think about, making this a nice little touch that might not necessarily change your life, but makes a big difference to some. Do you want just a little more than a floating window and getting a notification on your Galaxy device? Well, with One UI 3.0 you can switch between brief and detailed notifications with tweaks to adjust the brevity of these incoming pings. The enhanced notifications also include bubble support, which itself might be considered a top One UI 3.0 feature for those upgrading. Brief notifications are probably better if you do want fewer distractions throughout the course of your working day, but detailed notifications are far harder to miss. These larger pop-ups benefit from added extras like smart reply suggestions and more on top. It's also worth noting that Edge lighting is now bundled in with the brief notification section rather than the detailed options. Android's audio controls happen to be an area where Samsung really does happen to excel. In One UI 3.0 and 3.1, one of Samsung's top features gets another overhaul to put the rest of Android to shame. When managing the volume levels of each portion of the OS and wider system, the new floating window has larger sliders for each individual audio level setting. On a larger display, it's a bit further up than it probably should be, but the controls allow for you to manage each setting far more effectively than the current stock implementation in Android 11. This is also where the live caption setting is hidden if you do want to add captions or subtitles to any video content you are currently watching. Android 11 does bring with it a new power menu that includes controls for your smart home tech, but in typical Samsung fashion, there are some quirks and issues. Firstly, the activation method to get your Google Home connected device quick toggles is not quite the same. Samsung has placed these quick toggles within a notification shade submenu. You need to fully expand the notification shade and then tap the devices option. Should you have connected Google Home Smart Tech or Samsung Smart Things connected devices, all of your toggles should live here. This is still more convenient than having to dive into dedicated apps for each individual smart home device or item, but it is an extra tap where it probably isn't necessary. It's still here though, so you don't need to worry about not having that power menu panel. The only downside at present is that this is currently a One UI 3.1 exclusive feature, so it is limited to the Galaxy S21 series, at least for the time being. Finally, Samsung has removed the Samsung Daily feed in favour of the Google Discover feed within the core One UI 3.1 home screen. Unfortunately, this is not yet available on One UI 3.0, meaning only those with the Galaxy S21 or eligible devices updated will be able to enjoy this top feature. The Quick News feed aggregates articles and videos that you might find interesting and is available with a left swipe from your main homepage view. It's also joined by Samsung Free that expands upon the defunct Bixby Home, with plenty of frustrating ads and crappy clickbait news thrown in there for good measure. You can access this section with a further left swipe, but we're sure that the Google Discover feed is a more than welcome inclusion for those that want access to news at a glance. The camera has some powerful new tricks in One UI 3.1 that might be considered a top feature for budding smartphone videographers. Have you ever wanted a multicam setup without needing to use more than one camera? Well, Director's View might be the answer to your prayers. Effectively, you can record with all of the included lenses on your Galaxy smartphone simultaneously with this new camera mode. Of course, it's a lot to process both as a viewer and by the device itself. This feature has been touted as one of the top new additions with One UI 3.1, which unfortunately means that it is currently limited to the Galaxy S21 series. Given the likely processing power needed for the Samsung camera app to process up to 5 video streams concurrently, we'd wager that it might not drip feed to as many older models that are eligible to get updated. Without knowing your way around Photoshop, removing unwanted items, objects or people from photos is a tough thing to learn how to do. The Gallery app though in One UI 3.1 has added a neat object eraser feature that lets you effectively scrub objects, people and anything else you don't like from your photos. The end results are by no means perfect, but not bad considering that this is all being done with machine learning. It's technically a lab feature, which means it's not ready for prime time just yet, but it is a neat option that might help you clean up photos without needing to throw images directly into Photoshop. So we want to ask you, do you have a top feature within One UI 3.0 or 3.1 that you can wax lyrical about all day? If so, be sure to let us know down in the comment section below. If you're rocking an older Samsung Galaxy device that is yet to see the latest Android 11 build, be sure to let us know what you're looking forward to trying out to the most. But as always, until next time, this is Damien with 9to5 Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.